This is rocket launcher loaded with Hydra-70.
This is Mi-24, Ukraine's main attack helicopter.
Every day, the Ukrainian armed forces undertake titanic efforts to recapture what is rightfully theirs. At the forefront of every battle is the infantry, but their progress would barely be possible without help from the skies. This is Ray, and this is Mi-8 helicopter. These helicopters are the backbone of Ukrainian Army's aviation. To maintain and upgrade combat capabilities of these aircrafts, engineers have to basically search for the parts all over Ukraine and beyond, performing miracles with the limited resources. What's astonishing is that these Frankensteins made from different parts from different aircrafts are the ones performing combat tasks every day. Here at the base, engineers are working non-stop to keep all machines combat ready. Valery brings us to speed on what they do here.
My position is called the head of the technical and operational part of the helicopter unit. I'm responsible for 4 aircraft. I, along with my onboard and aviation technicians, maintain the technical condition and combat readiness of the helicopters. This one is called Mi-17 V5, but this is an export name. In fact, it's an Mi-8 MTV5. This one is from 2012.
It takes 8 engineers to do a proper pre-flight check of an aircraft. The usual procedure involves aviation equipment, radio equipment and weapons check. This is one of the newest aircraft in the Ukrainian forces. Such helicopters were passed by the US, originally designated for the Afghanistan Air Forces. Made in Russia, the country they are ironically now seeking to destroy. Previously, Ukrainians only had Mi-8s that were made in the USSR. Nevertheless, both generations are working at their limits, just like pilots and engineers. These aircraft are part of the 11th Army Aviation Brigade Kherson, originally based in Chernobyivka, Kherson region. On the 24th of February, prior to the initial missile strike on their base, the pilots were able to evacuate the most essential equipment and retain combat capabilities to this day.
I remember that night I received a command to withdraw our brigade from under attack, my squadron in particular. I was performing my tasks as deputy commander of the squadron.
Alexander is one of the most experienced pilots of the brigade. He is hopeful to return to their home base. But until that day, the brigade is scattered across the front line.
And this is Mi-24, Ukraine's main attack helicopter.
This is the first export version of the Mi-35 helicopter. We received this helicopter from our partner country, the Czech Republic. Apart from the name, there is no difference between it and the Mi-24V.
Today's combat story of Mi-24 looks easy on paper, but it involves many risks. To avoid being shot down from ground, they use indirect fire and heat traps. But their main enemy is Russia's jets. When dealing with an enemy that has air superiority, they have to avoid being tracked by the raiders. To do that, they fly extremely low. But there's a certain piece of Western equipment that makes these stories more dangerous for the Russians rather than the crew. So Artem, tell us what's next to you.
It's a unit with Hydra-70 rockets. I have already completed 10 combat missions with these rockets.
The Hydra-70 is an unguided air-to-surface rocket widely used on many aircraft in different countries. Provided by the USA, this weapon already proved to be extremely efficient with a longer reach compared to the Soviet-made S-8. And thanks to some crafty modifications, it's now compatible with the Mi-24. Why are these rockets important?
I believe that this is what Army aviation needs, and in large numbers. They help us on the battlefield, and we, in turn, help the infantry.
The Army's aviation is deployed mostly for 2 reasons. Fire support, meaning hitting and suppressing targets, and moral support for the troops on the ground, which is just as important. The crew is now doing 1 to 3 combat stories every day, which looks exhausting. We ask Artem if it's challenging for him to do this much combat work over a year and a half. How many combat sorties have you completed?
As of today, I have 157 combat sorties.
And how old are you?
23 years old.
Are you tired after all this time?
Sometimes I think that I'm getting mentally tired, but when I watch videos of our infantry on the front line, I realize that I might be wrong.